Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk with Big Ben. I'm going to break down week 1, all of the game ones of the NBA playoffs, and it was very exciting. So happy. Sports Talk with Big Ben, the show we're all so happy that NBA playoff basketball is back. So exciting. The Nuggets fans booed Melo. He started to go off. I was so entertained by that. But there's so much that went on, so let's get it cracking. Of course, I'm your host, Big Ben. Follow my links. Of course, they're on the screen somewhere. Let's start off with Memphis versus the Jazz. Jazz are the number 1 seed. Memphis are number 8. Memphis messed up my prediction. They beat Golden State to get here. Nobody saw that coming. I don't care who you are. You didn't call that. You thought Golden State were going to win too. Dillon Brooks with 31 points. Are you serious right now? Dillon Brooks thought he was Kobe for a second. Dillon Brooks indeed was the best player on the court for this game. Not to say Bogdanovic didn't come back. Man had 20 plus points in the second half alone, after no field goals in the first half. Brought the game a little closer, but yet and still they lost. So the Jazz, the number 1 seed, they're down 1 in the series. The Mavericks, number 5 against number 4, the Clippers. A lot of people are saying, hey, the Clippers wanted this. They lost on purpose to get to the Mavs. I hope they didn't, because the Mavs won. Game 1, Luka put 31 on them. But speaking of that game, did you guys see that dunk that Kawhi put on old boy? It's probably going to be what, right here? Yeah, ridiculous. Kawhi, you didn't have to do that, man, like that. Poster time. Next game, Portland versus the Nuggets. And my man's Joker, he tried. 16 rebounds, 34 points. It just wasn't enough for Portland. Portland took him. 34 points from Damian Lillard. We expect that. I didn't expect for the Joker to be... I guess I don't watch the Joker as much as I should. This guy has a lot of moves, man. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver took game 2. And I'm predicting for Denver to actually win that game. And probably by the time I post this video, the game will be done happened, and the series will be 1-1. You can book that. Now the Suns Lakers. Now that was a game. The Suns put it on them, but I can see now that LeBron actually isn't 100%. He wasn't himself. Not giving the Lakers an out here. But they can't win with LeBron playing how he played. And AD, you can say what you want to say, but they were paying a lot of attention to AD, hitting him with triples, teams, doubles, and they were making sure that the ball did not stay in AD's hands. So you can say, oh, I just had an off game, but from what I saw, they locked you up. So Good team defense by Phoenix. And yeah, I think the Lakers are going to get better in the series. And Phoenix probably is not going to win the whole series, but I'm glad that this is going to be a fight instead of LA just doing their thing. Let's move on to the Eastern Conference, where pretty much we know who's coming out of the East. And that team, guess what they did? They put it on the Celtics. Not like I wanted them to, but I believe they're saving that for game 2. Yeah. Kevin Durant with 32 points, slight work. They turned it on in the second half. First half, it looked like it was going to be a closer game than it was, but you could tell they just turned it on and they began to dominate the Celtics unmercifully. And yeah, and they did what they were supposed to do. You know, number 7 seed against number 2. Man, what did you expect to happen? The 76ers put the spanking on old Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. Those guys are gonna fight. They're gonna fight and they're gonna give you all they have. But when you don't have much else to help you on your team, all you have just isn't going to be enough. When you have a team full of good players. Tobias Harris with 37 points. He was the high point man. Not Joel Embiid, not Ben Simmons. Tobias Harris. Seth Curry with the threes. Yeah. They got a lot of weapons over there in Philly. And I can't wait to see this Philly Nets in the conference finals. I'm gonna be so upset if that's not what the matchup is, but we'll see. Atlanta, NYC. You didn't have to do them like that, Trey. You didn't have to do them like that. Look at this. You didn't have to tell them to be quiet. Chill out, man. 9 seconds left. They were so hyped. The Garden was rocking. And Trae Young hits the floater. The floater. Shut the whole stadium down. You ain't had to do it to him, man. In his debut, 32 points, 10 assists. And people have been sleeping on Trae Young for so long. Glad to see him doing his thing. Lastly, the Bucks take down the Heat with a game winner from Chris Middleton. 27 points in the game. And spoiler, the game has already happened for game 2. And the Bucks are up 2-0. And the second game was no contest. Ridiculous. Shout out to Trae Young and Devin Booker, because their playoff debuts, they both did the thing. 32 points for Trae, 34 for Devin Booker in his playoff debut. Wasn't scared. Man ain't scared. Played like a beast. Hopefully, takeaways from game 1 for all of the NBA. Hopefully Donovan Mitchell comes back and he's effective, because the Grizzlies actually could upset these guys. The way the Grizzlies are playing, they're playing very hungry. But I don't think the Jazz necessarily need Devin Booker to come back. If Bogdanovich doesn't have a slow start and he plays how he did in the second half the whole game, Joe Ingles starts to hit more shots, and the Stifles Tower actually does what he's supposed to do, and that's defend the paint, because Ja was eating these guys up in the paint. Plug that paint up, and the Grizzlies can. Not the Grizzlies, the Jazz can win this game. Game 2. So we'll see what happens. Jazz cannot lose this. I don't want them to be one of those teams that gets beat by an 8 seed. I feel like they're just one of those underdog teams, even though they're number one. It's just a good story to see, Snyder, one of the most underrated coaches, has his team playing very well, and that's with the star player having been out for a month or so, maybe even longer. I don't remember exactly how long he's been gone, but they've been winning since he's been gone. And that being said, Lakers are probably going to win game 2. I don't have anything else. Thank you guys for watching Sports Talk with Big Ben. Hit those links. Like, share, subscribe. And, of course, I'll catch you next time on Sports Talk with Big Ben.